wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, and it is here on this very podcast where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle, we talk about the latest and greatest in PlayStation. And with that, the greatest co-host who ever is and ever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Oh man, it's a great episode. Episode 69. Yeah. This is the Thanksgiving episode, okay? This is for the family. All right? Calm down over there. And with that, families, they come on all different shapes, sizes, belief systems. And I thought, what better way of crossing that aisle, that belief system, by inviting the Insipid Ghost himself. That was me trying to do my worst shock. Insipid Ghost! Mr. Insipid Ghost himself, Lohr. How are you? From the Xbox Drive, how are you? There you go.
I'm here. I'm going to make jokes about crossplay. Yep. I'm excited. No, boys, thank you so much for having me. It is an absolute pleasure to join you. It is an honor to join you, and that is not an exaggeration. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your show.
Thanks for coming here, not only just for an episode, and our Thanksgiving episode, but on your birthday, Luke.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking time out of your special day to be here with us.
Yeah.
Oh. There is nothing in my life I love more than gaming, and so to get to hang out and chat video games, it's the best. That's why I love doing it. So thank you. It's a pleasure.
Dude, this is so awesome. So we were gonna invite Sean, but he has a kid. So I was just like, let's not even.
Two kids.
He's got two of them now. Which is funny, right? He runs an Xbox podcast, but his daughter's name's Ellie from The Last of Us. So just saying, poking holes, Sean. So with that, again, congratulations, Sean. Congratulations, Ellie. And because she got the gift of life. The Thanksgiving episode, this episode, very special because there's so much news. And when it means so much, there's two huge news pieces. There's PlayStation's not showing up at E3. We got PlayStation 5 kind of rumors, which we'll talk about. And then Fallout 76. Holy crap. But before we do all that, it's a mouthful of an episode. Yeah, see that? I'm not going to go with Kyle first. I'm going to go with Mr. Lohr, the Insipid Ghost Ball. What have you been playing, man?
I've been playing a lot. But I think the one I want to talk about most right now is Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Yeah,
so good.
I think it's fitting to chat about it on Trophy Room because in my experience with Spyro, it was always PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I never beat a Spyro game when I was younger. Either I wasn't good enough or just didn't click far enough along. But I just wrapped up Game 1. I loved it. It was a blast. They've done a wonderful job with this. I think it's better than Insane Trilogy. Spyro Reignited, man, that is a game that it just makes me want them to release Skylanders all digital the way they did Starlink. It makes me want to see a Spyro 4. I want Spyro in more places. It was such a great trilogy. I love the first game. I love its simplicity and beauty. Spyro, that's my answer.
Yeah, it's such a good. I just platinumed it the other day.
Congrats!
Yesterday, actually, yeah, it's awesome.
Wait. Are they individual platinums or the whole?
Each
thing?
game has its own platinum.
That answers our question, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I finished the first game just like you when I was younger. I never finished it just because I probably wasn't skilled enough. And it's super simple in its platforming and just collecting a bunch of stuff, which I like. Starting the second one was a little weird because they kind of changed the formula a little bit.
They did. I noticed that too.
And it was kind of weird going straight from the first one to the second one.
Isn't that like the 90s type of thing where it's like, the first game is like the core game and they kind of like add things to it that like little gimmicks that they don't really need to. They could just
So basically the second one, like you can unlock skills for Spyro to do, which is like swim underwater is the skill that you can unlock in the second game and climb walls and it's not just freeing dragons and collecting or getting back the stolen eggs and gems and stuff. It's a little more gamey, if that makes any sense. Okay. Like there's more tricks to it.
But you're still enjoying the second one.
Oh yeah.
A whole lot.
And I can say I echo that with Kyle because I'm debating. He said he platinumed it on Xbox. It's just 3,000 achievement points, but I'm debating 1K'ing the first game and maybe just dabbling in the second and third.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I got my money's worth with the game overall. Just in the first one, it was just such a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, I've been playing a little game. Oh,
Mhm.
God, I've been playing a little game. Oh, man.
You don't look happy about it.
Played Fallout 76. And we're going to
Okay.
talk about it later in the show. But,
I've heard things. I've seen reactions.
yeah,
Same.
I thought,
I've seen people
listen,
try to return it.
I'm not a Fallout guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about that too, for sure. I'm not a Fallout guy whatsoever. Never been. I would like to try Fallout 3 again if they ever do a remaster of that. But I've never been a Fallout fan. So with that, I saw all this controversy. I saw everybody angry, and I'm like, if anybody's gonna be as neutral as if anybody's gonna be as Ireland or Sweden about it, it's gonna be this guy right here. So I walked in, and I'll be honest, the more interesting thing than the gameplay is how I got this game. I went to 2 GameStops looking for this game used, because come on, I'm not dumb. And seriously, like, I almost got hit twice. I almost got rear-ended. I went to Lyndhurst, New Jersey for this game, okay? Lyndhurst is awful. The traffic is gross. It's, bad. And then I go home, and I know it's going to be a big download, because, spoiler alert, there's 2 patches the game's been out for a little less than 2 weeks, equals to 80 gigabytes. I know it's going to be a big download. And
That's on top of the base game?
On top of the base game.
Oh, boy.
yeah. And, dude, there's 240 gigs in it. Yeah. Dude, it's...
Math.
It took over an hour and a half to download. I have gigabit, and it was stuck for an hour on 96%. And so I was just like, "What? Come on, this is just 4%. Just do
It's
it.
mocking you.
You could do this." And then right then and there, I'm about to give up because Starlink came in. I got it for $30 on Amazon. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna be Fox McCloud. This is gonna be great, right? Once I get Starlink, it's like my PlayStation was fighting it. It was like, Joe, I don't want this. Please stop.
Let me stop you right there,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Let me stop you right there. Starlink, one of my favorite games of the year.
Dude, I hear everybody
I
loves
had
it.
no idea.
Yeah.
No idea I would like this game. Starlink was awesome. I 1K'd it, and I'm
Ooh.
so waiting for DLC.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation, Xbox fans, we didn't get any extra content.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Ooh.
I would love that. I would love to experience it. But instead, Fallout's like, wait, you're gonna play another game? Here, I'm done. And then I started up.
But was it done?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I started it up, and it crashed.
Oh.
It crashed at entering the menu, at going, hey, enter your email to get into Fallout. Crashed. And it was just like, this is what type of game I'm about to experience. And then I go in, and they had a patch. Or they had their servers were down. And I'm like, in the middle of the day, like any MMO, like World of Warcraft is my hat I'll hang, the thing I'll hang my hat on is they'll do an update in the middle of the night, early morning. You'll be able to play Eastern time around 10, maybe 11. Like, this is the day before Thanksgiving. Everybody has half days. This game was down for about 3 to 4 hours. Middle of the day. It was just like, yeesh. And then I played it, and it's really boring. It's boring, and it doesn't tell you a lot of things.
Now,
And, not a fan so far.
when you say you played it,
Yeah.
you said you got about an hour.
About an hour.
One thing I think we've noticed a lot of recent releases on multiple platforms is that the openings of games can be a bit monotonous or a bit slow.
Mhm.
I think that's a criticism we throw into
Yeah.
place. What do you mean by, like, it's not fun so far? Like, talk me through that.
So and I'm serious when I'm saying this. This is how they let you out of the world. Usually Fallout tutorials are super long. This one, it's like you get up, get out of your room, and then it's kind of like a conveyor belt of things that they tell you. It's like, here, equip this hat. Here, first it's like equip your Pip-Boy. Here, access your Pip-Boy. They don't really go into too much detail. Here, you're gonna need food and water. And once I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, oh God, no. Oh, I'm gonna be thirsty all the time. And then they give you cards, and then they give you a weapon, and then you're out, and then you're just, or they don't even give you a weapon. Maybe I missed that part. But they're just like, here's all these things. Is this a conveyor belt of knowledge? And then they just throw you out in the wilderness, and that's it.
Mhm.
That's the game. And then you're going to this one quest to find this lady. Spoilers, not there because there's no NPCs, and it's just boring. Just there's a lot of popping. I was taking damage. I was walking on this pathway, and I just took damage for no reason, like fall damage. I was like, I felt like my camera went down as this. I felt like I took a little bit of damage. I was like, what the? And I looked around like, is there like bees or something? Like, am I about to be Nick Cage? And like nothing. I'm just, what's going on here? There's a strange bit of lag pop in type stuff. It's rough, but I'm going to be playing it again tonight with Fiona before I do any types of impressions videos.
Did you
Fiona
run into
McKinnon?
anybody?
Yeah, Fiona McKinnon of Nuke This,
Host
a Fallout
of Nuke
podcast.
This?
Yeah.
Nuke This, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you run into anybody in that hour? Like
I
other
did.
players?
I ran into one guy. He did look cool. He looked like death, and then he waved at me, and then he just ran away.
Oh, so he was nice to you.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was my big issue when I heard it was just an online kind of free for all type of thing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to just get destroyed by other players.
So it's definitely a game. It definitely exists. We'll get into it
Sure.
more, but
Did you? I'm just gonna cut you off while you're trying to rotate away. Did you see the guy that's like cosplaying within the game?
I have
acting
not
as
seen
an
anybody
NPC?
do that so far.
So
I've
there's
only
a-
seen
Oh,
one
and
guy.
he gives you stuff, right? I think I read that story.
Yeah. I've only seen one guy, and no, it's not fun. Please don't get this game. I'll just immediately say that right off the bat. I am not impressed. I am understanding the complaints so far. I think for $60 for this game, no. Kyle, but we'll get into that. Kyle, what have you been playing?
So about 40 minutes ago, I'm going to tell a little story.
Okay.
About 40 minutes ago, I was cleaning up through some of my computer desk drawers, and I found an unused Amazon gift card. So for $30. So I was like, ooh,
what a gift.
let me, and I knew immediately what I was going to do with it.
What
So I
would
go
you
on
do?
Amazon, I get the digital code, and put it in PSN store. And then I bought Beat Saber. And that's why I was a little late to record. And that's why my hair is all sweaty
Yes.
and not.
Yes.
Beat Saber is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I have some rhythm. It's not like I played Rock Band and stuff, and I
Right.
played the drums. Beat Saber is incredible. The way you feel like a conductor in an orchestra, just with lightsabers, you just kind of hack it away as it come through. You get it. It does such a great job of kind of smoothing you into it. Like I started obviously on easy,
Yeah.
and just to get a feel for it, and I did the first couple of songs on hard already because you just kind of get the feeling for it.
Okay.
And you're moving around. It's a workout. Like you have to squat to get under like some impossible barriers, and you're moving around. It is a good ass VR game, and I'm so happy that PSVR is getting these type of games. And I'll say, even though there's not a lot of songs,
Right.
I think I only counted 15, 20. Beat Saber is like a PSVR system seller in my eyes.
Wow. And it's $30.
It's $30.
Okay.
I had to pay $2 in tax with real money, other than gift card money. But
yeah.
it's so good.
Don't you
We're
love when
done.
that happens? Don't you love when that happens?
I loved it, and the moment we're done, I'm gonna hop right back in and probably sweat it off and play more songs.
Well,
'Cause
Kyle, I'm gonna say this. How dare you? I sold my VR unit to pay for my Spider-Man bundle, and I told Kyle I have the ability to get a VR unit for essentially $100, and I'd only be at that point losing $10 out of the exchange of which I sold it for. So, yeah, I just bought a VR unit right now on Amazon. Yeah, you sold me. You sold me. I'm gonna get the Super Hot Creed bundle because I have never played Super Hot. So you sold me. I need this. I want Tetris Effect on VR.
which I'm gonna pick up on Friday.
Yeah. Oh God, dude, there's so many games. So many games. With that, God, this is a great episode already. I'm enjoying this. Here's something we're gonna have a really great discussion on. And this is why I brought you here, Luke, because you are an Xbox guy, so you could you could level our expectations and give a counterpoint. I really want to know what you think of this. PlayStation is skipping E3 2019 This comes straight out of Kotaku, so please, 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 please give them a click. And it states the following. And this actually comes straight out of the lips of a Sony representative. It says, as the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for innovative opportunities to engage the community, said Sony in a statement. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate and think differently and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage with our community in 2019, and we can't wait to share our plans with you. So they are not going to E3. A few months back, they announced that they're not going to PSX because they don't have those things to wow us, right? Mm-hmm. This is a long time now. Theoretically, we don't know if there's going to be a PSX in 2019. No E3. PlayStation has been a part of E3 now for, I believe, what is it, like 24 years? It's been a hot minute since PlayStation has took part in E3. They are very much cemented in E3's history. With that, Antonio writes in, you son of a bitch, Antonio. I don't understand the spin. It's not a positive thing to cancel PSX and the appearance at E3. Going silent for a year is not a victory lap. It's not a great marketing ploy. They are running dry on things to get excited about. We've known this for a while. It's okay to let them rest and come back strong. If they announce that they are leaving E3 and going with PSX from now on, or, and he says in quotes, or a brand new event near or around E3, then I would believe it was part of the plan. Okay, is this good news or is this bad news? Is the PlayStation 5 coming out in 2020? So there's a lot to kind of dive in here, and I want to also just tack on Eric's question here. He writes in, you could write us questions to the Trophy Room via the Bad Bit Discord or the PS Trophy Room on Twitter. He goes, do you feel like the reception towards PlayStation leaving E3 is overreacting on both sides? Because I feel like Antonio's comment is a bit heated, but he kind of brings it back to center. What do you guys feel about PlayStation not attending E3 in 2019? I'm going to start with Kyle. I hope that's all right, birthday boy.
It sucks. Yeah. I don't like them leaving E3, because as a primarily PlayStation gamer, I looked forward to it. It was an event. I went to the city. I went to the movie theater to watch E3 with other PlayStation fans. Like, it's a highlight. It kicks off the summer for me. So it sucks that they're not going to do it, and the fact that we didn't get PSX this year, and we haven't heard anything yet. A couple things in that statement makes me think that we are going to get something.
When he says we're exploring new and familiar ways?
Familiar ways, yeah. So my first thought was, of course, PSX is definitely going to happen at some point next year.
Yeah.
But then I was also thinking, well, maybe it's one of those like PS4 reveal events they did in February where they kind of show off what they've been. Maybe they show the early version of PS5 or just kind of like some updates here and there. Maybe it's something that Xbox used to, or does. I think they still do it, where they do like updates every month or so. Or like a Nintendo Direct. Maybe they're doing something like that. I don't know. But leaving
like
I think leaving E3 kind of it also makes you think what I've heard from the industry, where E3 is not what it used to be. It's now fans going, and a lot of people don't like that who are in the industry. So maybe this is like the first shot fired to be like, E3 is kind of like a relic. Maybe we'll do something new.
It's more of a Comic-Con rather than a conference like this. Luke, what's your take on this? What are your thoughts? PlayStation leaving E3.
I don't think they're gone for good.
Okay.
I think they're exiting this year.
Okay.
Anybody's going to be chomping at the bit when Sony returns because they've just done such an incredible job this generation. I'm not nearly as upset as who was the caller? Antonio.
Yes.
Antonio Gillian.
Yeah,
this gentleman caller.
You guys don't know each other at all.
He's a new voice to me. But in truth, I think that it is just fine. I don't have any panicking about it. PlayStation they're 85 million plus units sold. They're only rising. They're continuing there. If you got nothing to show, I'm okay with you bowing out.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a couple steps to this, I think if it had been the other way around, panic button all day long. If it had been Xbox stepping out, panic button all day long. This is bad news bears. For Sony to do it, I think it's just fine. I think their last PSX disappointed, which was a bummer. I do want to clarify for any listeners that aren't aware of me. I'm a multi-console owner. I love PlayStation. I think it's a great system and ecosystem. But I was disappointed with the last PSX, and I felt it fell flat. And so if it was going to be another one of those, good, bow out, take a moment. The part that I feel they've really missed a beat and allowed themselves worthy scrutiny is that they are no longer going to be spotlighting what won them the generation, and it's what won me the console. It began in that February release where Mark Cerny walked out with a controller, but then it continued with the indie process and third party spotlights. They've just, I think, shot themselves in the foot with third party relations for the short term. For long term, everybody gonna be chomping to get PlayStation back because it's a big name, a lot of units sold, big install base, and great worldwide presence, whereas I think Microsoft has a very isolated presence.
Right. I think for me, I'm kind of 50-50 on this news. I'm not, I've heard some PlayStation fanboys. I'm going to just say it. Like, they're like, this is the greatest thing that could ever happen. This is amazing. I think that it is a give and a take. My thoughts have definitely evolved since the announcement. First and foremost, for me, I think there's like three parts of this. One, I think Kyle's right. I think E3 is not what it once was. And EA is not what it once was. It is evolving. It is, we see more and more people start to kind of not take E3 as seriously. We see more announcements at the beginning of E3 or right before the conference because there's a lot of noise at E3. Right, like a lot of people have even taken their conferences out of E3. You saw it with Microsoft; they moved away. E3, EA. Look at it, I confused both. It's gonna happen. They went to Britain one year because it was just here's our own thing. I think E3 is just changing, and it is becoming more of a commercial thing rather than an industry thing. And I think that's fine because for me, if I'm Sony, I am now competing against, and even just anybody entering E3. You're competing against Microsoft, Square Enix, Nintendo, did I say Microsoft? EA, Ubisoft. You're competing against all these huge announcements, and then you're talking about winners and losers and all the clout that's in between. You kind of want to just walk away from it and go, listen, you guys can argue over who's gonna earn the news for the day. How about we just do our own thing where it's in the middle of the week and we just announce it and it's all eyes on us for a few days rather than a few hours or a few minutes?
Yeah. Kind of how they did like those little announcements before E3 this year.
Exactly.
It was like 5 days before the actual conference where we saw Tetris Effect for the first time. And Beat Saber was announced in those couple days leading up.
Yeah, and so I don't think you need E3 as a huge company in that sense. And when you're announcing another console, thinking about it like this, if Microsoft announces their console in E3 next year, because that's what the rumor is 2020, that's when they're going to, release their console. PlayStation now has however much time they want to look at that console, see what they did right with its launch and what they've done wrong and where they could fit in between all that. And then they could come out at a PSX and go, here's our console. They have all the time in the world, theoretically, to come out and say, yeah, this is what our console is going to be like, and kind of have that way of differentiating themselves from their competition. Kind of gives them more room to breathe, to strategize. But you talk about indies, this sucks. You talk about developers, this does suck. This is not good news for them. Right? Like, why would I, if I'm an indie or even like, a AA or maybe even a AAA title, why would I go to you to get, marketing deals with? Because E3 is important. Having that game on your stage, you have millions of eyes looking at you. And by not being on that stage, you're kind of just going, yeah, I don't need you guys. Bye-bye. So what is Activision going to do? What is EA or Ubisoft or indie company A, B, and C, D going to do without that push, especially the indies? I think that's a very, again, we don't know the scope of things. It's a very ignorant thing of Sony to kind of just go, they're going to come with us, don't worry about it. Don't worry, we have the install base. So I think there is good and bad, and I do think it's a mixed bag. Mm-hmm. But for me to just sit here and go, it's bad and it sucks, or this is great, we just don't know until it happens, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, Mr. Moody writes in, again, like you can too, if you're on Bad Bit Discord, if you follow us on PS Trophy Room, shoot us a tweet, we'll get you on the show. Mr. Moody, the glorious one, writes in, and he says, with Sony skipping E3 next year, do you think this means the PlayStation 5 might release earlier in 2020, like the springtime, or do you think they'll release in the fall of 2020, the holiday season? So, guys, PlayStation 5's happening. We heard a lot of rumors and speculation, and I don't want to dive too deep in that. PlayStation 5's happening. Do you think with this move of them not going to E3, does this mean that, yeah, they want a space for themselves to launch their new system? I'll go with you, Luke.
I think it's certainly easier to get your message out there now than E3, and so it makes sense to bow out. The decision sort of reeks to me of late PS2, early PS3. And so I'm hoping they're not following in that trend. I hope they take a page from their own book and launch as they did with the PS4, which certainly had me on board, and it was my system of choice for a long time. Frankly, I would love to see it not be near a holiday season. I don't want it near a holiday. I actually think systems are better suited to come out earlier in the year while you don't have grandma fighting at a Black Friday sale trying to get you the thing. And then you can kind of long tail and release throughout the year. And I think you actually can occupy more news that way.
Kind of like with the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Switch is a great and wonderful example. What I don't want to happen, and this is true of Xbox and PlayStation, I'm hopeful that they do not launch these systems, Scarlet, PlayStation 5, whatever else they do, without quality games and reasons to upgrade. Something about these new systems suggests to me that they might be backward compatible and forward compatible, where certain games you can play it. If it launches on Xbox Scarlet, it'll work on your Xbox One. If it launches on PS5, it might, some of them might work. Mm-hmm. DC Universe actually did this with PS4, PS3. And I loved it. That was a great thing for me. So I hope that it's earlier in the year.
Okay.
Not later.
What about you, Kyle?
I mean, earlier in the year would be great. Just to give time to have more titles, because when PS4 launched, there was I want to say 6 games that launched with it, a couple sports titles and stuff.
And
but
Knack.
then Knack was our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior.
But then there was I say drought, but the next big game took a while.
Dude, 2014 sucked for games. Yeah. On both ends.
Exclusives.
Exclusives, yes. Yeah.
But even to me, point in 2014, I was like, am I growing out of games because nothing's appealing to me? Like Titanfall, I loved, but it died within a month. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Watch Dogs.
We all know why. Games. We all know why. It's a great game, but they put it. No,
we know.
I'm sorry.
Watch Dogs Destiny didn't show us what the next generation was. For me, it is Bloodborne, where it really does kick it off of here's what games are, man. Here it is.
Black Flag.
God, so good.
That was good, yeah.
So with that, I agree. I actually would my battle plan is, if I'm Sony, we announce that it's kind of like we're announcing we have an announcement at around E3. Yes, we have a new console. It's coming. Here's a little meeting a week after E3 to kind of take all the oxygen back into the Sony ecosystem, back into the Sony conversation, and go, we are announcing PSX this year. Come get your tickets. We're going to have something big to show you. And that's where they reveal the PlayStation 5. There is no way, shape, or form to me PSX isn't around. Because they talk about it. Talking to the fans. Think about it. PSX is a thing next year. You have people in the room. They're not reporters. They love your thing. They love it so much. They just bought a ticket, and you're about to announce the best fucking mobile game.
We saw this. I'm sorry, Kyle.
yeah.
But this, I think Joe is right on the money.
Yeah.
I think whenever you launch or you make a big announcement like that, put your journos in a section.
Yep.
Don't let it be up front. Make sure the cameras and launch it at. We saw recently with XO18 for the Xbox fans, but PSX is a great place to launch. Launch where your fans are.
Yeah.
Let that hype and the energy be infectious and spread virally, because that's what's special, and that's what makes a game special. Put the journos in a section.
Yeah, look at XO. Like the announcements the announcements weren't big. But to an Xbox fan, like the people in that audience, fucking were losing their shit out of PUBG going to Game Pass, right? Like it's like, holy crap! So just imagine you have your own little convention, and it's all about the PlayStation 5. You're getting now fans' hands-on impressions of this thing. You're having now people writing in their blogs, telling their friends, like, dude, like talking to people in their cars about it. Like it's gonna, that's an awesome thing.
Or we get reactions, like you said, do it in front of fans. Like the first PSX conference was awesome when they were cut to the fans jumping out of their feet, up on their feet, screaming. The second one wasn't great because they ended on Paragon, but like the third one ended with a surprise for Last of Us Part 2.
And everybody lost their shit.
Everyone lost their, because we already had a Naughty Dog reveal at the start of the panel.
Yeah.
So, and that was the buzz around that conference and around PlayStation as a whole was just, that's what they need to do. And I agree with you, PSX, whenever they do it, hopefully it's next year, they come out guns blazing. Like, here's our system, here's what we can do.
Now, with that,
and you can play it. Like, you can right after the conference, go in there and go try it out and see for yourselves.
Now, I'm going to say something very crazy. What if they do what they did with the Nintendo Switch? Because I actually really like
Vita
that.
2? Vita 2? What?
Calm down. It's the Switch. I literally put the label behind my Switch. It's the Vita 2. Thanks to Nintendo for taking that idea from us. I'll take my royalty check any day you want. But when they announced the Switch, they're just like, it's out in like a month or two. There it is. And then you have the hype. Everybody's pumped for it. It's like, here, we announced it in December. It's out in March. Here you go. With that, there's a question coming from the famous Seamus himself. He asks, how do you guys feel if Sony does a Nintendo-style video in place of going to E3? Which bleeds into this question. Now, if I was you, it's more subtle. It's Thanksgiving. No need to shout across the table. Do we only use a direct approach, or do we form now using like a PlayStation Experience to be the place where we announce all of our PlayStation news? Forget E3, we're just doing PSX from now on. Or do we do the approach where we do it like Nintendo does it? They did one thing right, guys. Congratulations. You have a 15-minute video. Here's the game. Because the last 3 E3s, it was just like, here's your game, here's your game, here's your game, we're done. And then we had a guy playing with a flute, right? So with that, I don't know. Luke, what do you think? Do you think a direct style approach, or do you think PSX style? Classical approach.
I would like to see PlayStation and everybody start to adopt a more direct. I think Xbox is evolving that with Inside Xbox, but as far as the PlayStation approach, announce it at a PSX, and for E3, you need to give your fans something.
Okay.
You need to give your relationships with third parties something. If you truly are bowing out of E3, I think you cannot go back and renegotiate that idea any longer. You need to step away from E3, give it 2 weeks removed, or before or after, and occupy that mind share on your own. I would like to see them ignore ignore E3 altogether right now, because that die has been cast, not because I think it was the right choice or wrong choice. But I want to see a bit of both. But if you're going to announce new hardware, I want that at a PSX. If you're going to talk to your fans, give it a tight, concise, good Nintendo Direct style, short Nintendo Direct. We've seen some bad ones that were too long. Yeah. But yeah, I struggle to answer your question clearly, and I apologize for that.
How dare you, Luke? I think you're saying do more of a bit of both. right? Like a bit like fill in the gaps that are missing with direct style Sony approaches, and then go with a classical one at the end, that 1-2 punch. Here's Last of Us Part 3 type of
exactly.
thing. Yeah.
There is a reason that PlayStation is in first, and it comes from developer relationships and fan relationships.
Yep.
And those two things both need to be fostered. You have to water both of those plants and see to it that you don't ignore one and sacrifice one for the other. We saw Xbox make this mistake with Xbox One's launch. We saw Nintendo do it with Wii U. When you ignore both, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see them
nail down at least one of those things.
Yeah. And not screw up the other. You know, it takes a long time to build mindshare back, and they did it with PS3. Yeah. I think they can absolutely do well here.
What do you think?
It's a tricky question because they kind of do have like a direct style approach already in the form of
the blogs.
Well, yeah, kind of. But after E3, we have Paris Games Week, we have Gamescom, we have Tokyo Game Show. Those are three major shows where they usually show up and have like a press conference to talk about things, all within like 2 months of each other.
I think we could consider all those things they're not going to.
Well, yeah, and that's what I would hope, and I would hope they would take all that information that would be there, and yeah, maybe every other month we get a direct style type 20-minute video of like, hey, look at this cool stuff, and then hopefully come back to E3 and show off like exclusive major things, or at a PSX where the fan base is there and kind of, you know.
I think you're totally right. I think even you could see the industry is moving that way into the more direct style approaches. Like you saw with Call of Duty this year, you even saw a little bit with Battlefield. Like they had their own events. And that's why, to me, when people are concerned about like Sony leaving E3 and giving everybody the finger on the way out, is I think like when it comes to Call of Duty, like when it comes to the big meaty AAA games, I think they already hold their own events. Like Call of Duty has Call of Duty XP every year. Like Destiny's starting to form their own little convention as well. Like every time they announce something, and even when they announced Destiny 2, they rented out a theater for it. So I don't think it's that much of a problem with them leaving E3 in terms of the big AAAs. But if in the form of indies, I think that's where the direct approach comes in. I think with the big AAAs, have this huge event, but for the little indies, have the PlayStation spotlight shine a light on these guys and gals who are making great stuff. So I think, a little bit of both. I think for your big releases, you have this huge convention for it. And then for the smaller releases, you show your support in that way. I think there's multiple ways of doing it. With that, though,
I actually kind of like a little bit of what they did at E3 this year with the different themed rooms.
Yeah.
That's cool if they want to do that for a live event, like big major exclusive stuff.
Sure.
Just don't have that awkward in between time. Like if they want to do like a live show and make it a spectacle, which is awesome, kind of do it in an easier way where we're not sitting there and I love Sid Schumann and I love the PlayStation team, but there was a lot of
sitting around
stuff. Not news.
Yeah,
they did vamp very well, but man, it was tough to watch guys that are so likable like that. Yeah. But that's a logistics. With that, Joe really wants to move on.
I do, because that was a 30-minute conversation. Holy cow. Let's go on to Fallout 76. Fallout 76 came out, guys, and it's not very great. This first story comes out of the Push Square, and I give them a click, and everybody that I say from here on out, give them all clicks. Fallout 76's first post-launch patch is out for the PlayStation 4, and it weighs in at a whopping 47 gigabytes. This update that Bethesda says will improve the game's performance. Trust me, there was a lot of them. So let's hope that was out of context. Back into context. So let's hope that the near constant stuttering and ridiculously low frame rates are eradicated with this install. Bethesda has also noted that future patches should not be as big as this one. So feel free to argue that the title has indeed launched in an unfinished state. With this update installed, Fallout 76 has a total size of 100 gigabytes on the Sony system. But wait, there's more. An angry customer destroys a GameStop store over the inability to return Fallout 76. There's a 45-second tirade of this man going through a GameStop because he couldn't trade in a game. And I wanted to clarify this. It's not saying that it's Fallout 76, but that is what the internet's saying it is. So that's actually false. We don't know what game he's upset about, but the internet's kind of snowballed it, and that's not helping Bethesda's case whatsoever. With that, there's more. Fallout 76 will drop to $40 for Black Friday. Holy crap. And then the latest patch that has just come out for this game on the PlayStation makes the PlayStation 4 Pro version practically unplayable. At the same exact time, the sales number for this game is dramatically low, selling less than, and this is me rough estimate, about 80% lower than Fallout 4's initial release. Holy crap.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Our first question comes from Mr. Eric. He writes in, like you can, Discord, PS Trophy Room. With Fallout 76 being treated as the new No Man's Sky of the year, do you have hope that Bethesda will take this chance to fix a lot of the glaring issues with Fallout games for Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6? Kyle, what are your thoughts? What do you think's gonna happen with this game?
I sure hope they take that approach to Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why we didn't see much, and at E3, and it's probably years away. But they just gotta take their time and fix their engine and stuff, because that's the base of it. I mean, eventually, I feel like all the other games get fixed at some point. Like you, I think I only played Fallout 4, and I only played maybe 15 hours of it before it kind of lost interest.
And why did you lose interest in it?
It's a good question. I saw it as like a shooter type of RPG thing, kind of like a Mass Effect type of style, third person shooter thing. And the shooting just felt off to me in 4. And I realized you can use VATS with the Pip-Boy, but even then it just wasn't my style of gameplay. And the world's cool. I love the world of Fallout. But it just didn't click with me. So I'm hoping that they fix it, because Fallout fan base is huge. Yeah. And they deserve to have. And
they're very upset right now.
And rightfully so. That would be like if we got, or if you got a Bloodborne, I can't think of the freaking studio, From Software game where it just was not up to par. The glitches galore, you just couldn't play it. I understand that, but like, what if you got a game that you adore? Like I got a Resistance game that was not anything even close to being first person shooter from Sony. Like, I understand the outrage, and they deserve to be outraged. I'm just hoping for them that it gets fixed to make it somewhat playable soon. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that, Luke? What do you think is their approach now with this game being as canned as it is? Like, everybody's throwing rocks at this thing. What do you think Bethesda's approach is with their next game, Starfield?
It is tough to say, because it feels very tone deaf what they did with Fallout 76. I mean, on the financial side, they had nothing else to release. Yeah. So I get it. In 2017, they rocked it when they had Wolfenstein 2 and Doom coming over to Switch. They had so many great news, save single player. We were all high on it. And then to have such a misstep now, I don't know what this does for their future going forward. I can abstain from offering an opinion on both Fallout 4 and 76. I've never played them. But outside looking in on it, it strikes me as extremely tone deaf of Bethesda overall to launch 76 in the state that it did, and it makes me question their ability to stay consistent, because I was super high on them in 2017, and I actively bought Bethesda titles that I thought would suit me at some point, and I did not see this coming in this state. I'm hoping it's a bit exaggerated or it's quickly fixed, but it doesn't look like it might be. So if I am a future fan of Starfield, or if I am to be swayed to purchase Starfield, or I'm interested in it, I think my approach is a bit more tepid, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If they're willing to do this following such a good wave of hype, what happens now? It's a tale of two Bethesdas for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, this is troubling. And I think it kind of cracks the mirror that we saw Bethesda, right? Like it was kind of like, Bethesda, I think I said it like during our E3 show. It's just like that's a company you feel like you can have a beer with, right? Remember, like anytime someone's running for president, like I could have a beer with that guy. I could have a beer with Bethesda. We can hang out. And then this happens. And like my worst fear came true of what this game is. This game is a game not of passion. It's not they wanted to make this because they thought it would be a great game first. It was, we want to make this because we want to make a lot of money off this trend of game as service. And we don't understand it, but we're going to do it. And that's what this game feels like. Again, it's only been the first hour for me, but it feels empty, boring, and just lacking anything. It just feels like they dropped assets and they're like, here. And all the assets all the things you didn't like from Fallout 4, the majority of you, they're here now. You're gonna love them this time. Why? Because we said so. And it is completely tone deaf. So dude writes in, do you think Fallout 76 can recover from all the criticism it is getting, like No Man's Sky is trying to do? And I put this link down here. No Man's Sky has a new big update called Visions, and it adds more planet variations. It adds rainbows. It adds all different type of biomes. We see this game that was critically panned in the beginning, and now it's finally a game. It's finally something that people could be proud of and want to play, though it's not my type of game whatsoever. They've completely changed the narrative of this game, whereas Fallout 76. I'm saying this, and I know it's an extreme take, and I know it's an extreme take. This game is so early access. This game is not worth $40, let alone $60. It's not even worth $20. To me, I do feel that. Holy crap! If this was my franchise, I would be really upset. And I feel like, dude, at this point, just take back the game. Just let people return it. This is awful. Like, there's no way you fix this game. Because just the core foundation of no NPCs whatsoever, just run around, build a base in a Fallout world. And, like, even when you're building a camp, you can't build it anywhere. Just please stop. Please. Like, I would pull this game from shelves. Seriously, like, I know that's an extreme take, but the hate, the amount of animosity towards even seeing some big Bethesda fans just go like, what the fuck is this? And I don't know. I don't think it could come back. I don't think there's a way this game could come back in a cost-effective way that Bethesda wants. Just don't see it. And it sucks, because I know people worked real hard on this. I know the studio that worked on this before worked on, I think it was called like Battle Right or something like that, and it didn't work out the way they wanted. And I saw that as Bethesda going, okay, that project failed. We need to make a lot of money fast to recoup the cost of that game. Let's just make a Fallout game. Let's put Todd Howard, call him the game director, put a hat on him, put him on stage, and let him tell a joke. But I think, to me, and I just want a quick yay and nay, it's not cute anymore, Bethesda. Your glitches are not cute anymore. Witcher, Red Dead, whether you love those games or hate them, they're completely detailed. Their worlds are beautiful. They feel, again, lived in. You hear it all the time, but it's true. CD Projekt Red is a fraction of the size of you, and they just did it so much better. It's embarrassing. Like, you used to be ahead of the game. Now what? You're cashing in? I don't know. It's depressing. It really is. But do you think do you think something major, there has to be a shakeup here at Bethesda for the launch of this game in terms of how they bring out their games into the future? Like, is the jank cute anymore, guys?
I would say no. It's kind of my same feelings when Telltale was still around, where their games always had the same issues. Yeah. Bethesda games, for the most part, have the same exact stuff going on the pop-ins, the weird glitches, there's just always something wrong with like the actual Bethesda Softworks games.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's not okay anymore. I hope they fix it. I do just want to say really quick, I think it's unfair to label this like a No Man's Sky situation, because No Man's Sky was so far worse in my eyes than this.
Yeah.
Because the game we received was completely different than what we were shown.
It's true. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
You are right. Yeah. Maybe that's just me talking passion. I think you're completely right on that.
I do. Yeah, it's not cute anymore. And it sucks because I know people worked hard on it, because every game gets people work hard on, and I just hope they fix it and they do it soon.
Yeah. With that, let's move on to the next story. This might even be, it's gonna be our last story. All right, so everybody buckle in. I'll just do some quick news flashes for you guys. All right, or flash news, I like to call them. Black Friday, PlayStation 4 bundle of Spider-Man is selling out everywhere. Everywhere. It's nuts. Like right now on Amazon, it's sold out on the first day. Walmart is got sold out as well. GameStop, you can still purchase them. I see every time, like I've walked into GameStop twice, I've seen 6 of these things fly off the shelves. It's crazy. And there's a great question here. Famous Seamus writes in, if you could build your own PlayStation 4 bundle, what games would you have for it? And what kind of design would you go for to make it a limited edition? So would you keep it a standard black box, or would you put a shiny little sticker on it, kind of like the way they did with Spider-Man PlayStation 4 and the Days of Play PlayStation 4? So that rolls into, now if I was you. Okay, so no more Spider-Man bundles, right? Because we already got that covered. What is a game for Black Friday specifically you're throwing in with a PlayStation, base PlayStation, $199? What game are you throwing? What type of special stuff is it? Kyle, you seem like you're in a deep thought about this.
I'm thinking, because we already got a God of War bundle.
You did.
So like I can't say God of War.
Let's see.
Does it have to be a game from this year as a bundle?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am going to do a God of War bundle.
Okay.
Yep. And I think it's going to be just a standard black PlayStation 4 with God of War 4, and it's going to be $199. Just get them out there. We don't need a fancy stamp on the console to make it cool, to make it sell. I think God of War is a real popular game, and I think it's sold amazingly. And to just to remind people it exists is awesome. And you know what? I'd go even one step further. I'd throw in that David Cage game.
Detroit.
Throw that in there. You know, just for kicks.
Yeah.
Luke.
I'll
You
let
shake
Luke
your
have
head.
this one.
Go for it.
Do not throw in Detroit Become Human or a David Cage game as your system selling bundle. Do not do that. God of War, sure, it's exclusive, it's great. Spider-Man, it's approachable, it's beautiful. You don't need
bad. What would you put in there, Luke?
Spider-Man.
All right, I'll take it. Kyle,
it's Spider-Man.
What's a game?
It's weird, and it probably is not going to move units. But what I would do is, seeing how it's nominated for Game of the Year, I would do a bundle with Celeste, Guacamelee 2.
Oh, like an indie bundle.
Yeah, like a bunch of like smaller indie games, and again, black PS4.
Listen, you're you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, then I'm doing the PS4 with one of the Celeste strawberries on it.
All right.
It just a bunch of like smaller indie titles like Donut County, Guacamelee 2, Celeste, just like smaller stuff.
Tetris Effect, bam, done.
Sure, there you go.
I think that's dope, but I don't think it's gonna sell a single system.
I understand.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, cool.
Yeah. It's just like, because again, in my mind, it's hard to come over. We had a God of War, we had a Spider-Man already.
Yeah,
let's do
you
something.
Did it right. He did it right with that one, with those.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out,
too.
guys.
What?
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out.
I saw that at EXO.
They said it. You shut your fucking mouth. You shut it. All right. Kingdom Hearts 3 is gone gold. They have finished the game. Believe it or not, it's actually going to be coming out in January. Congratulations to them. No drop because it's Black Friday. Okay, it's nuts. Go out there, go buy PlayStations. Only $200. VR only $200. I just bought it. So can you. With that, our final bit of news. It's
Game Pass is on sale, guys. That's what you need to be checking out.
UK sales chart says, "Shut your mouth." Spyro roasts Red Dead Redemption. This is crazy. Spyro reignited trilogy. I said it right this time, Kyle. Red Dead, Fallout, Pokemon. Spyro sold better than all those games in the week that it launched. Activision's onto the winner with these nostalgia-fueled PlayStation 1 remakes, as Spyro, the reignited trilogy, has topped UK sales charts, although Pokemon would have taken the W if it was combined with its multiple editions. They sell, Pikachu and Eevee with different SKUs, but whatever. Suck it, Nintendo, you lost. Yes.
Did Black... I keep interrupting a lot in this episode. I apologize.
How dare you, dude.
You know what? I don't feel bad.
No, because know what? You go like, I have to leave at this time. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to try to get this under an hour.
Did Black Ops 4 not win? I thought they just announced that.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
Right, so hold your horses, okay?
I don't hold no horse.
This is an impressive result, says...
By God, that horse kicked me for no reason.
Listen here, you listen once, I'll listen twice. Listen, you interrupt me again, Luke. I know it's your birthday, but I'll blow the candles out with my hand, Luke. What type of cake you eating? Is it German chocolate with a nice coconut-like layering on top, or is it a carrot cake with a nice cream cheese layering on top?
It's a pumpkin pie with a chocolate crust.
God, pumpkin pie, chocolate crust. You put a little whipped cream on there. You put a little, just a little. It's your birthday. Indulge.
There ain't nothing better on a Wednesday evening than record a podcast about pumpkin pie and Fallout 76, by God. The horses are better in Odyssey. Let's
be real here. It's an impressive result for the Purple Dragon, which outpaced Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 76. Trust me, it's not that impressive. To take the top spot. Not only that, but PlayStation 4 commanded a 75% of the remake's retail sales, showing that the PlayStation nostalgia very much exists. I didn't put that in there to throw it in your face. I think that just made sense. It's a PlayStation game.
Yeah. Spyro was a PlayStation, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think post Skylanders, the youth do not, like when I was telling students about this, they have no idea what Spyro was. Yeah. They're like, oh, from Skylanders. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that threw me off. I was like, wait a minute. You think he's a Skylander?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he is the Skylander, but is he a Skylander? I don't know.
It's so much more.
That was
so much more.
A neat thing to notice.
Yeah. No, it's... Oh, God. That's why I don't talk to the youth. That's why... Bobby's in his little ivory tower, and he's just like... with his, little AOL. You got mail. He's just like, oh, this is great. Dial up. Number one was Spyro. God damn it. Number 1 was Spyro. Number 2, Red Dead. Number 3, Fallout 76. Number 4, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Number 5, FIFA. You got the FIFAs. 19. 6 was Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Number 7, Black Ops 4. Number 8, Fortnite, the Deep Freeze bundle. I was going to buy that, but the cover sucks. 9 was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I feel bad. Hitman 2 was 10. I feel like, damn. Mario Kart beat it. I mean, maybe that's because Mario Kart, people are buying Switches and then they're buying that. But man, Hitman's such a great game. I was watching the Versa Vulture 86.
Oh, yeah, Andrew,
on
what's
Mixer.com/Versa Vulture. I was gonna say it's Super Ghost, but with that, that's awesome. That's excellent. Spyro's doing great. But I got a question for you. I mean, both these games sold great. But does Red Dead have the staying power that GTA 5 had? Just or has? No.
Oh,
I think it could.
Yeah.
Once we see what online's all about.
Okay.
Because I think that's why GTA 5 is still selling, is because of the online. So I think it could, but like you mentioned earlier, when it comes to intros and games, that Red Dead intro is
sluggish.
way too long, very
Yeah.
sluggish. So yeah.
And I think that is going to take a lot of people out. Whereas Grand Theft Auto 5 it's a setting it's a beginning that starts up a lot faster, and then you have the online infrastructure that's just been there for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Red Dead, again, gotta wait till the online to really give it a final verdict, but I think you're all right. And then right here, Call of Duty has outsold Red Dead Redemption in the MPD numbers of last month. Call of Duty did outpace Red Dead Redemption, and MPD analyst Matt Piscatella said that the lack of single-player campaign did not hurt Black Ops 4's launch month sales in the slightest. So, my question, this is the final question of the night. Luke, you've been playing a lot of that Blackout. You're real good at it. Is Call of Duty single player dead?
No.
No?
It's not dead. It's not dead. And Black Ops 4 is amazing. And I never thought I'd say that. Because 2 months ago, I was like, I don't know about this Activision. And I get real skeptical when it comes to Activision's online practices.
Yeah.
But they truly did release I feel a wonderful product. Zombies is very fleshed out, pardon the pun. I think that
Shit, that's good.
the multiplayer was excellent, competitive multiplayer, and then Blackout stands on its own as in my opinion the best battle royale with that aesthetic. It's realistic. I don't know. It's not Fortnite. I don't know what you would call it.
Right.
It's better than PUBG.
Yeah.
Oh yes, by far better than PUBG, which is probably going to get new life soon with its launch. Though I don't think it's going to matter. But I thought Black Ops 4 was a complete product, and I'm very happy for it. But I don't think it's dead. If only so they can say it's not dead for their next marketing thing, because you can't release Blackout twice.
Sure. It's true. I mean, do you think that they're going to say Blackout's still here, but it's called something different, and like all your stats are just like back to one, like none of the skins carry over now?
No, I think Blackout will. My hope for Blackout is that when Call of Duty 2019 comes out, Blackout is broken out and you can download it separate, free to play. Because the Blackout map is a collection of old Black Ops maps. I understand it. I never liked Black Ops 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
But it's got like the Nuketown section. It's got the mansions. Because it's like a greatest hit section, I can see them doing more of like Fortnite with the cube or the rocket. Do something unique within that map. Or
hear me out here. You have it so you have Blackout is all the Black Ops section. And then you have like the modern like Modern Warfare map section. And it's kind of like, here it is, and there's the greatest hits there. And then like the third map is like Infinity War, put that in quotes. Like whatever they did. Ghosts.
Are you suggesting keep the mode called Blackout, but then the new map is Modern Warfare?
It's Blackout is just the map to the overall Call of Duty Battle Royale. It's the extended universe. Blackout is the map, Blackout, and then like whatever we're gonna call Modern Warfare's map, fuck it, keep it. But like Blackout 2 map, and it's just all the Modern Warfare stuff.
Kyle, what do you think?
I hope single player is not dead, because I didn't play World War II. But I liked what Infinity War or Infinite Warfare did with kind of like it kind of had like a hub, like where you go out on mission stuff, and I like that approach.
Yeah, I also.
So I hope they go back to that, because that was really cool. So yeah, I hope it's not dead. I really do. Yeah. But I obviously it doesn't matter, because Call of Duty players usually just play online. So.
I'm gonna say this, just like how Superman said it to Batman. It's dead. Bury it. Just like your parents, old man.
What are you burying? Wait, you're burying them single player.
Yeah, single player.
Okay,
It's dead.
gotcha.
It's done. It's over. If Activision, if their sales didn't hurt from this, They have no reason to until it starts, and then they'll add it back in like 2 games from now. They'll be like, "Look, we have the campaign, and it's Kevin Smith. Oh wait, no, it's Kevin Smith. Like he's the bad guy, and it's Kevin James as the good guy."
Can it be Paul Blart? Can we just play as Paul Blart?
They have started the Paul Blart
If they don't
cinematic universe.
The Blart out. Blart out. It's the new map. Just Kevin James sections on the map.
And the characters are all just Kevin James characters.
You got him on the Segway. You got him from Grown Ups.
King of Queens.
The teacher who went
the
to
map
mixed
is
martial arts.
The map is Queens.
Yeah.
And you win, you're the king.
Yep,
but I will just tell you,
absolutely.
I'm not buying this unless I can wear a football team's jersey.
Oh God, no! You don't.
Fair.
It's gonna
Fair.
not end up in your favor. It's not. With that, guys, gals, everyone, that's been the trophy room for this week. That's it. It's great. Thank you for coming, Luke. Seriously,
yes.
it's great. I love having you on. It's amazing. Just talking shop, talking PlayStation. Isn't it great to talk about PlayStation?
It is great to come on and talk about games and chat about just video games in general. I mean, because when you play together, you stay together, and I think that's the important thing. And so I apologize for talking so much over you, Joe, but Kyle, really, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for letting me kind of help fill the co-host role today. It was an honor, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
And Luke, where can they find you? Please do it.
Oh, I would love it, really and truly. If you guys enjoyed my content today, you can find me over on Mixer, where I stream at mixer.com/insipidghost. That is really true. I'm like bumping up to 400. I'm really proud of that. I've had such a great time with that community. Everyone's so kind and lovely there. And then you can find me on Twitter at MLS Reserves, because branding's bad. But I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to start doing this. At the Xbox Drive. It's a podcast where we chat with my good friend Sean Capri about gaming and games and Xbox specifically. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, dude. And seriously and sincerely say this: I'm not an Xbox guy, right? If Phil Spencer,
No one's perfect.
Phil Spencer, I'm gonna say this: he wronged me. All right, he cut me off at an intersection. And I was just like, "What's your problem?" And he just gave me the middle finger. He's just like, "Yeah, you're my problem, guy." And it was just like, ever since that day, I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" But
and that is why crossplay has.
Yeah. That guy does a PlayStation podcast. No, like, crossplay's over.
But with that, guys, seriously, that show's amazing. It's my daily driver when I'm out driving, when I'm out working and going to school and all that stuff. I always pop in the drive, so go check them out. They're amazing. I always think of you guys as like the sister podcast. You got us two wackos there, and then you got one wacko talking in his car and one sane man listening.
I thank you. That means a lot to both of us. I'm sure Sean and I both we love the camaraderie that comes from gaming together. So yeah, thank you.
And Kyle, where can they find you?
You can find me at WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter and PSN, pretty much everywhere. You can find my show All About Kind of Funny at Best Friends Talk Funny, at BFS Talk Funny on Twitter. I'm going to be probably going to do a special episode because it's Thanksgiving this week. Ooh. So that hopefully I'll have that out soon. And just enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be with your friends, your family, play some games, and be thankful for what you have.
Yeah. And again, you can find this podcast on all types of RSS feed services. I found 2 more RSS feed services, Kyle, while I was just typing us up on Google because iTunes is being weird. And dude, I was just like, holy shit, there's so many places. So just check us out. Any RSS feed. Go if go on Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, Trophy Room. We're there, guys. We're there. iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. Did I say Podbean? Yeah. Go check us out. Rate us 5 stars. It really does help us out. Grows this big, beautiful family that I call home. We're here at Bad Big Games as well each and every Thursday. And with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everyone, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation
games.
PlayStation games.
Bye.